Hello guys, my name is Olumide. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's class, I'll be showing you basic things you need to know when doing your frequency separation. Let's have fun. The first thing you need to do is remove all the blemishes from your image. Select your healing brush tool and remove all the blemishes just like this. Fast, simple, and effective. This image is already clean already. It's not having much pimples like that, but just remove the basic ones. You don't need to remove all the details from the image. Just remove the big pimple or the blemishes on the face, just like that. Once that is done, the next thing we need to do now is duplicate our background layer into two copies. We duplicate our background layer into two copies. We make two copies of background layers just like that, and then we'll name the down one color, then the up one texture. What are we trying to do? We're trying to separate our texture from our color so that when we're working with our color, it won't affect our texture, and when we're working with the texture, it won't affect the color. So after you might have done that, turn off the I button for the texture layer. You name the down one color, then the up one texture. Turn off the I button for the texture, click on your color, then go to Gaussian blur. Go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Then take it back to 0.1. Find the part on the face that has the most significant texture, and where we have the basic, the more texture is around the forehead area. So you now gradually turn your radius slider up until you get to a point that the details on the face are becoming blurry, like you are not seeing them again. They are just like that. Around 5.2 is okay for me. Then you click OK. Then now I think there's a mistake. We did something wrong. We've deleted one of our layer. Let's go back, please. Okay, yeah, let's go back. Okay, now we have it back. So come back to your text, to your color rather, like that. Then we'll go to our blur. Okay, we'll go to our blur, Gaussian blur. We already choose 5.2, just click OK. Then come to your texture layer, turn on the I button, then go to image, apply image, change the layer to color, because what we are trying to do now is we're going to apply this particular effect to the color layer. So change it to color, then come to the blending, change it to subtract. Make sure your scale is 2 and your offset 128. There is a reason for that calculation, but I won't explain that in this video. And click OK. So then change your blending mode to linear light, just like that. Then the next thing you need to do is group both your texture and your color. Once you group them, when you turn on the I button off and on, like I'm doing right now, there shouldn't be any difference from the original image, like that. Then open it, duplicate your color layer, select your mixer brush tool, simple, like that. Then you go to your settings. Make sure first your hardness is set to 0, and then make sure it's on soft brush. Don't select hard brush, soft brush. Then check up your settings, your mix. My mix, I use 5, just like that. The settings 95, 75, 95, 75, and the stroke brush, whatever up there, it's 10. Then you select your mixer brush like this. Please, when you are brushing, and that's very important now, whenever you are brushing, make sure you brush the shadow separately. Don't just brush anyhow. Don't brush your shadow into your highlight the same way you don't brush your highlight into your shadow. You see, that's where mistake comes from. So many people, when they are brushing, you see them, they brush, they don't understand. You don't brush your shadow into your highlight. You brush. Okay, let me just do an example. You see what I just did now? If you just brush like that, I just brush the shadow into the highlight. You see, on and off. You see, a little bit of the shadow has entered the highlight already. We don't want that in our image. We want something natural, something very beautiful and natural when we edit. So let's start brushing. You select your brush, reduce the size, and brush only the shadow part. When you get to the, just like that, when you get to the highlight as well, you brush the highlight. And you see, now there's one trick when you are brushing the midtones, which actually in between the highlight and the shadow. When the transition, in order for it to be smooth, that's where you need to be a little bit smart, and it's tricky somehow because you need to brush in such a way that you blend it together, that when someone looks at your image, of course they will see that there's shadow and there's highlight, but the transition point will be invincible. It will be so smooth that nobody will be able to dictate. So please be careful when you are brushing, and so that you won't brush for instance the head beats into your image. If you're not very careful when you are brushing that part, it's white, and you just, before you know it, the color will spill into your image. So when you're brushing that part, reduce your brush stroke so that it becomes smaller. Let's say before and after. Okay, make sure the idea of what we're trying to do is, we want to make sure after the brushing the image still looks natural. You don't brush and change the person's face, and don't destroy the image. So please be careful. Like I said, brush the shadow area, see around the eye parts. Be very careful before and after. Yeah, you see what I just did? For some persons, when they're brushing, it becomes difficult for them or distracting when the texture is on. So I just turn the texture off. It gives you more control over the image, and it makes what you are brushing to be obvious. As you are brushing, you are seeing it. It makes it more obvious. Although for me, I like the texture on. It doesn't affect me any longer. But when I started, I remember it do affect me. So I turn off the texture layer. Turn it off if it's distracting you, so that the texture will not be there. What we are working on right now is just the color. So we'll blend the eye area. Please be careful. Whenever you are brushing places with small details like that, you need to reduce your brush. Yeah, around the eye bag. Just like that. Before, after. Can you see? Before, after. Okay, let's turn it off back. Then just continue your brushing, just like that. Continue. Please have it at the back of your mind. Whenever you are brushing, make sure you don't brush the shadow into the highlight, and don't brush the highlight into the shadow. And another thing you need to understand is, understand where your light is coming from. Like this particular image, my light is coming from the left side. If you observe, my light is coming from the left side. So make sure you consider your lighting as well, so that at the end of the day, your image will still look as natural as possible. I've seen a lot of frequency separation online, and when you see them, it's not their fault actually. It changes the image. Frequency separation should not change, should not damage your picture. Rather, it should make it look better. Better. It helps blend the color, and then to enhance the texture as well, not to destroy your image. So continue brushing. We just continue like that. Yeah. Yes, just that place that she's smiling, you need to be careful. If not, you just destroy all the beautiful lines and shapes on that face. Yeah, you can rotate your image. In case you don't know how to do that, you just press your R button on your R button and just turn. It's simple. So just brush. If you rotate it, it might be helpful as well, so that you need to be bending your head and like that. So when you are brushing the edge, please be very careful. Just reduce your brush, reduce it like that. Before, after. As soon as you're brushing, please always check before and after, so that you see what you are doing. If there's a place that's been destroyed already, you quickly go back. And at least that's the beauty of that duplicate that we did to our color layer. If there's too much mistake and you think you need to start from the beginning again, just delete it and go back and restart, so that you just start from the beginning, like duplicating of layer, blur, and the rest again. No. So just keep brushing like that. Yeah, under the nose area there, please be careful. Reduce your brush. And I forgot to tell you, please, whenever you are selecting your radius, it's important. There is this trick about it. You see some images online and you discover that it becomes too sharp. You see the grainings on the face is just too much. It's because of the blur radius that was selected. Now, the lower the number, the softer your image, and the higher the number, the more details you have in your image. Please don't forget that. So that is why it is important to be careful when you are selecting your radius. And it's not compulsory. Like I use 5. Is it 5 I use on this one or 5.2? It's not compulsory that you fix it as your own. It's not written in stone, not cast in stone. Let me use that word. So you can always play around with those numbers till you become so familiar and understand how those numbers work. Depending on the texture you already have on your image, please be careful when you are brushing your finger. You see the knuckles. Please be careful. In fact, most times, it's just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm brushing. Most times I don't brush the knuckles. Just be careful, please. Don't make it too soft, then you just blend everything. You see, like that is okay for me. He's a human being and not a robot or some rubber. So there should be knuckles, there should be those things there. Then come to the hand, just like that. Just like that. Brush. Like that. Frequency separation it's simple. I know what I'm doing right now, you might not understand, but just you can watch the video over and over and over again. Then, not just in watching the video, since I've shown you the basic things you need to know now, you need to go into practice. To be honest with you, I remember my first attempt was awful. That's just the simple truth. My first attempt was awful. I won't lie to you. So you keep practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing. And before you know, maybe your first attempt might use up to 30 minutes retouching. But before you know, it's time. In 5 minutes, you are done. To be serious. In 5 minutes, you are done. Like that. Okay? You see before and after. No more difference. It's just to blend the colors. You see? Before, after. You see? I wanted the beautiful highlights to still be there. And they are there. They are there. No more difference. Frequency separation should not destroy your image. It should make it look better. Remember what I said? It shouldn't destroy your image. It should make it look better. Can you see it? So now, okay, let's zoom it out. Before, after. You see? Before, after. Blending of the colors. Just like that. The nose area. Another thing. You see this nose? I'm only touching it for the sake of this tutorial. Most times, to be honest with you, most times I don't blend I hardly touch my nose, because if you are not very careful, it's easier. That's the part that is most easier to destroy in an image. Nose. Before you know, you just change the shape of the nose. And my lips, I think the makeup artist did a nice job. I don't want to touch anything there. I want it natural like that. Another thing you need to know. Please don't underestimate the power of good makeup. Always advise your clients to get a good makeup artist. Don't try to be a superstar. Don't think you can create beautiful image in post-production. Please, it's important. Now, if you want to increase the texture, like you just duplicate the texture layer, simple like that. You can leave it on linear light. But for me, I discovered that soft light works better for me. So I do change the blending mode to soft light, just like I did. You see, if you leave it on linear light, it has more details. But for me, I choose soft light. So, and this soft light is just perfect. I don't even need to reduce the opacity. It's just okay for me. This soft light is perfect for me, like that. So then you select your healing brush tool. As we increase the texture like that by duplicating the texture layer and changing it to soft light, some details become more obvious and it's looking too big. So you go to your texture layer, not the texture copy that will turn to soft copy. Then you just clean out the blemishes, just like that. Very simple, like that. So please advise your client to always get a good makeup artist. It's very important. It makes your work look better and better. So I think I'm okay for me. I don't like my work being over edited, to be honest. So So then you can just play with the brightness. You select your levels, then increase. Just let that play around. Some of these things help. Play around. Like I said, nothing is cast in stone in Photoshop or in photography. Play around. Come to my selective color. I want to play with the greens. So let's just play with the sliders like that. Till you get what you want. Just play around with the slides. When you play around, you get beautiful colors, and before you know, you become master. If you want to know more about this selective color, please watch my video on I explain in details on what RGB means. If you watch that video, it will help you understand better on how these things works, especially on your selective color and other adjustment layers that has to do with colors. So yes, you can play with the yellow slides as well and the red, but I think I'm okay with this color. My extraction from camera raw is fine for me. I don't want to do anything again. This is the closest color I have to the client's image. It's a beautiful lady from a Tiv culture in Benue State in Nigeria. Very wonderful person, very wonderful tribe, wonderful culture, lovely people. So that brings us to the end of our tutorial. Please subscribe, like, and ask questions.